Okay, now we're back in order again. Now, when the Bible describes Lucifer, the Bible describes Lucifer, and the way the Bible describes Lucifer in Ezekiel the 28th chapter, and the way it describes Lucifer, Ezekiel 28 and 12, 28, 14, and the way it describes Lucifer in Isaiah the 14th chapter, in the 12th verse, it describes God making Lucifer and making him beautiful and called him a cherub. God made him so wonderful that nothing God made today was better than him or looked better than him. Jesus didn't even look better than Lucifer. But pride came in him and God had to kick him out of heaven. But when God kicked him out of heaven, he landed somewhere, but the Bible didn't describe too much about it, but the Bible said the kings of the earth saw him fall. And then in the book of Zechariah, it described again when Israel was being attacked by Babylon, before Babylon attacked Israel, it started describing from what happened during that time, and the Bible said, in the earth without form and void. Now Israel was attacked by Babylon, and Babylon destroyed Israel, but it only destroyed that section. But in that book, it described the earth again. And it described what happened with God and Lucifer. But now, when God made the earth again, and he described the 6 days that he made the earth, and then on that 6th day he made man. He said, let us make man in our own image and in our own likeness. And after he got through making man and woman, and he told man not to eat off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, all of a sudden, when he made all of this, he said that it was good. But now, after he said it was good, all of a sudden, Satan shows up in the Garden of Eden. So that means if God said that when he made the earth that it was good, God knew Satan was there. But no matter what Satan do, he couldn't stop it from being good. Just like your life. Your life, Satan is living today. And Satan is trying to destroy people's life. But you have to understand, God expects you to have victory over this life. So God's saying your life is good anyway. Now in this case, Satan show up and he started talking to Eve. And then he tell Eve, he talked to Eve into eating off the tree. And Eve said, we can't eat off it, nor can we touch it. He said, God didn't tell you that you couldn't touch it, that you surely died. He said, no, that wasn't possible. And so Eve wound up eating it, but God gave the promise to Adam, not Eve. But Eve talked Adam into eating it. And that's when the sin of disobedience occurred. So God come down to talk to them, and God finds out when he's looking for Adam. He said, Adam, where were you? You didn't hear me calling you? And Adam said, yeah, Lord, but I was hiding. And God said, why were you hiding? He said, because I knew I was naked. He said, Adam, did you eat off the tree? And he said, yeah, that woman you gave me made me do it. But God had gave an interesting, although God was putting a curse on each of them, he gave an interesting curse. After he gave a curse to Satan, he gave a curse to Adam, and gave a curse to Eve. But while he was talking to Eve, he said, when he was talking to Eve and the serpent, he told the serpent, I'm going to send somebody to step on your head. Why? Because God had gave dominion to Adam, to man. And by man's disobedience, man lost dominion to Satan. But God made a vow that I'm going to put separation between you and the woman, and between her baby and your baby. That's what the term between her seed and your seed in Genesis 3 and 15 and 16. So the rest of the story, of the salvation story, we trying to find out who's the woman's baby and who is Satan's baby. That's two interesting things that we don't talk about too much in church. But if we're going to follow God and God's going to be our friend, we need to know as much as we could about it. Okay, now, God decided, all right, now in order for to send this woman child into the earth, I need to keep the bloodline pure, that Satan can't contaminate this bloodline. And Satan already tricked, when the woman was kicked out of the garden, the man and the woman was kicked out of the garden, she had 2 children that was recorded. Actually, they had more than that. But that's the 2 children that was concerned the salvation plan was Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, and Eve wound up having a son called Seth. And God said, I'm going to keep this bloodline pure through Seth. So you go through history, and going down through history, Seth wind up having a great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandson named Noah. And Noah had 3 kids. And man became so evil that God decided he's going to flood the earth. But he kept Noah and his wife, and kept the 3 sons and their wives. And so he flooded the earth and killed all human beings. He flooded the earth again. So now, this time, when the water goes down, he had to decide, what child will I use to keep the bloodline pure? And out of the 3 sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, he chose to use Shem's bloodline. And so he used Shem's bloodline, and further down through the great, he decided, you know what? I need to show people through a family and through a certain people how I want them to live and how I want a relationship with them. So through Shem's bloodline, he met a young man named Abraham, or Abram. And he promised Abram in Genesis, the 12th chapter, something that he was going to do for Abram if Abram be obedient to him. He told him, I'm going to give you a land that I will show you. He said, through you, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. Why did he give him that promise? Because he wanted to show the earth the relationship that he wanted with man. So he chose to use Abraham and his future family, to which Abraham didn't have children yet. But God eventually used Abraham, and Abraham's children went through a slavery, and God used Moses to bring them out of slavery. All kind of ways Satan was looking for that child that was going to destroy his child and do away with him, but every time Satan tried to do away with a child, it was the wrong person that he tried to do away with. Now, 4,000 years later, this child comes through that bloodline, through the bloodline of Judah, because Abraham's son wound up having 12 children. Abraham's grandson. His son was Isaac. Isaac had 2 children named Jacob and Esau. And God decided to use the bloodline of Jacob. Jacob had 12 children, and God decided to use the bloodline of Judah. Out of the 12 sons that he had, God used the bloodline of Judah. So through Judah, the Messiah was going to come. So all through the New Testament, the people was looking for the Messiah. And finally, the Messiah show up. When? That Christmas morning. We know exactly that it wasn't December 25th. But that's a representation of when God was telling the earth, okay, this is the Messiah. So when God established the Messiah, they tried to kill Jesus, and God told Joseph to take Jesus to Egypt till Herod died, and that occurred. But God made a special announcement when Jesus became 30 years old. When Jesus went to go get baptized by John the Baptist, when Jesus went in for the baptism and was baptized, that's when the Holy Spirit landed on Jesus' shoulder. And God was letting Satan know right then, this is the one that I was talking about. This is my son whom I'm well